Hey, everybody! I hope everybody has had a good day today and we are ready to dive in. Today, we're going to be talking about the power of a two-way communication in a relationship because Lord knows I know exactly how much power a one-way communication in a relationship doesn't have. Because over the course of time, several years ago, I was the speaker in my relationship, and my significant other was the listener in my relationship. So just imagine this: like one partner is pouring out their heart and sharing their frustrations, their dreams, their wants, their needs, and the other listens in silence or just kind of brushes it off with like a quick response, like, "Oh yeah, okay, sure." Like that was my relationship. I was the one pouring out my heart while my significant other sat in silence. So, like, imagine, you know, I would go to my partner and say, I'm feeling really overwhelmed today. And they would respond with something like, "Oh, you'll be fine. Just push through it." And it's like, yes, I know, but you're dismissing my feelings entirely. You know, in that type of dynamic, I'm expressing myself while my partner was retreating and feeling unheard and unseen, or even too afraid to speak his truth. I know that now, but then I just felt like I needed to be able to express myself and say what's going on and share my thoughts and share my feelings and my hurts and concerns. I didn't expect him to sit there in silence. But now I know that that silence was retreating, him feeling unheard, unseen, and didn't want to speak his truth out of fear. When communication only flows one way, the connection starts to break down. As you can, as you may have heard in my with what I just described to you, it's like one partner might feel unappreciated and overburdened while the other one feels dismissed or completely shut out of the relationship or the conversation altogether. And over time, like these patterns just create resentment. It's like I was resentful towards my significant other because I felt like I'm just talking to empty space. Is he even listening? Nothing's really changing. I'm being vulnerable here and I'm getting nothing in return, which felt lonely. And it felt like, the emotional bond or connection that we were having was just being chipped away at from the simple fact that he was sitting there, not, sitting there in silence. And I'm not the only person going through this, which is why I'm talking about it today. Because I've seen couples who deeply, madly, truly are in love with each other struggle because their conversations are one-sided. Both things can be true at the same time. So, like, feeling, I've already been there myself, feeling like I'm the one doing all the emotional labor, and him feeling like he's too scared to open up. It's like I wanted to figure out why this is existing in my relationship all those years ago. I'm like, why is this happening? I'm being communicative. Why are things still the same? Why do I feel like I'm agitated and more angry with him over time, and I feel like, why do I even bother? Why what's happening? So after backtracking in my relationship to try to figure this out, I realized that I don't even know what my partner's needs are. I'm so focused on what my needs are and communicating that to him and my wants and saying what problems there are to solve and just thinking about what needs to be managed. Did I ever even take the time out to ask him, what needs does he have? What does he want? What does he have to say about things? What are his opinions? I never did. So that was my realization, that communication is only meaningful when it flows both ways. So if a partner is only the speaker, you have one partner in the relationship where they're the ones that are speaking all the time. And then you have the constant listener, the one who is listening all the time. Like, so just imagine how that dynamic is going to look, that relationship. Like, imagine the roles when it comes to communication. Imagine how you're navigating through the relationship on a daily, just in simple plans in your relationship. It's like from the speaker's, perspective, if you're the one always talking, always saying, my feelings, my wants, my needs, this needs to be managed. Can we look at this? This could be better in our relationship. And you have your listener there sitting in silence, you're going to feel unsupported, right? You're going to feel like you're just talking into the abyss. You're going to feel like you're talking to a brick wall. But on the flip side, the listener, they're going to feel burdened with all of that information, with all of your wants, all of your needs. They're going to feel like they're misunderstood because the speaker is not giving them any space or any tools to share their voice. They feel like, I can't speak up. I don't have the space in my relationship to share how I feel or share what my wants are. I don't have a voice. The speaker has the voice. They're the one always talking. I'm just in agreement. It's like the speaker is voluntarily allowing themselves to be in that role because there is just no space. There's no room for them. And over time, it's like the trust erodes. If I'm being vulnerable with, my silent partner, is it going to be reciprocated? It's probably not. And then the silent partner is thinking, well, there's no need for me to be vulnerable. How can I be vulnerable? Over time, and that is frustrating. So the speaker is feeling like, okay, I'm sharing all of these details about my feelings, and that can feel like you're taking on the emotional weight of the entire relationship. Then your intimacy fades emotionally and physically because true connection requires two hearts speaking and two ears listening. So, the one thing I learned is that healthy communication is like a dance. It's a dance between two people. How you know where you're going to step, you know where you're moving. You have this vision for the entire relationship. You're following each other. You have one person leading, and then sometimes the person who led last time is leading in this situation. It's a dance, it's a back and forth, it's not a monologue. So, everything that I've learned about two-way communication, I wanted to be able to share it with you. So, that's what we're going to do today. I have 5 secrets to share with you about how to start practicing and getting into the habit of having two-way communication with your partner. So, first, balancing, being able to balance listening and sharing. So, and when I say balance listening and sharing, we shouldn't have a speaker and an all the time speaker, and we shouldn't have an all the time listener. Those roles should be consistently interchangeable, right? So, you could start by, asking your partner, or asking yourself, am I giving my partner enough equal time and space to express themselves? Because that is important. Equal time, space. So, because just like we talked about, that is important. When you decide, when you're like, okay, when you ask yourself this question, am I giving my partner equal time and space to express themselves? It allows you to, it's like a trigger to be like, okay, let me ask my partner how they're feeling about this. What are their opinions? What are their concerns? Because just as important as how you feel and your wants and your needs are, your partner's wants, needs, feelings, are just as equally important. So if you're the one that's doing more of the talking, just pause and invite them in. Invite them into the conversation. Because if you're just starting this, your partner, the listener, is still going to be in that state of, I'm listening, I'm sitting here. Because that's been the habit, right? Essentially, they've been trained to do that, to sit and listen. So, and if you are the partner that tends to hold back, practice speaking up, even if it feels uncomfortable at first, which it probably will. But practice. It's nothing like that uncomfortable feeling to get you over that hurdle. And then when you start doing it more, the less uncomfortable you'll feel. And then it will become more of a habit. So, two, practice reflective listening. Reflective listening. So, what reflective listening is simply when your partner is speaking to you, just to make sure that you heard them correctly and that you're engaged in the conversation. You might repeat what you've heard them say. You're having a conversation and you might repeat back to them, okay, this is what you're saying, just so I'm understanding. And that is also an opportunity for your partner to give you clarity or even deepen their thoughts on the issue or on what they're saying. Because now you're asking questions. Now you're saving time on misunderstanding each other later by in that moment saying, okay, I'm engaged. Let me ask some questions. It sounds like you're feeling really stressed about work right now. So, does that sound about right? Or, I want to make sure that I'm understanding what you're saying right now. So, and then repeat what you think they're saying. So, this just shows that you're engaged and you're creating like an open forum for, this open dialogue, and you're allowing them to clarify so you have less misunderstandings in the moment and later. Three, ask open ended questions. So, open ended questions are simply questions that you ask where they require more than a yes or no response. Because I'm sure that we've all been in a conversation with someone where they are, whether it be in person or in text, and you're literally trying to have a conversation and they're just giving you one word responses, right? So, what we want to do is we want to prompt by already asking questions that require more than a yes or no answer. Like, what's on your mind today? Or, how did that make you feel? Or, what was a big win that you had this week? Like, that curiosity shows your partner that you care. And it creates an opportunity for you to like have more mutual understanding about each other. Because again, you can live in the same house with your partner and not know what's going on in their lives away from you. Both things can be true. So when you start asking your partner these open ended questions, it opens a door and creates space for your partner to share more with you. And it allows them to get in the habit of opening up a little bit more. So, four, being able to express yourself without blame. So, when it's your turn to speak, use I statements. I love I statements. So, I statements. Sorry, y'all. I can't I can't speak and write two different things. So, excuse me. Okay. So, when it's your turn to speak, use I statements instead of you statements. So, You statements are like, you made me feel bad. You you make me feel distant. You're the reason why, I'm feeling lonely. You're the reason why I can't be vulnerable. You, right? You statements are more accusatory, and they tend to get your make your partner become defensive, right? Instead, using I statements, I feel lonely. I feel like I'm unable to be vulnerable. I feel like I can no longer, move forward in this relationship because I can't, I can't share my opinions. You know, I statements are simply you taking accountability for your own feelings as opposed to putting your feelings onto your partner with you statements. So, I feel distant when we don't check in about our day. Can we carve out some time to talk? We don't want to go into conversations with our partner and automatically have them get defensive because of you statements. Defense might be automatic, and if you're having a conflict, we don't want to add to it, right? M5, create a safe space for honesty. It's like agree on the ground rules. So when you're creating this safe space to be honest, no distractions, just you and your partner, because you're going to have this important conversation, right? You don't want to be distracted. Have your undivided attention on your partner. So that means no interruptions. If you think you're going to get interrupted, go somewhere where you're not, or make sure that you set the environment so you can't get interrupted. Turn your ringer off. Put your phone in the next room. Tell the kids that you need, personal time. Make sure you're not judging your partner either. It's like, don't judge your partner. In order to have a safe space for honesty, you have to be receptive to what your partner says. You have to try to be empathetic and understanding where they're coming from with what they say, understanding the experience that they may be having. Their experience may be very different from yours. You may have a different way of behaving, or you might have said something different, but you two are two different people. So to judge them based off of what they decided they're going to share with you only makes them not want to share with you moving forward. So make sure you're not judging them. And no shutting down, because in order for a safe space for honesty to work, you actually have to participate. So shutting down might look like, just sitting there in silence. Shutting down might look like not sharing your feelings or your thoughts. Shutting down might look like just saying, I don't know. When it's like, take a minute to think about it. So we want to be able to have two partners, the two of you participating in this conversation so you can feel comfortable. When both of you feel safe, communication becomes like the shared responsibility instead of a burden. We all have been in a relationship where those dreaded words, we need to talk, and then our eyes glaze over and we're like, what's wrong now? When you develop this safe space, your eyes won't have to glaze over because you'll want to get involved in this conversation because there's not going to be any judgment. You know that your partner is going to have their undivided attention on you. And you know that they're going to be open and honest. That's what we want. So I remember, so like, I remember the first time my partner said, I don't feel like you hear me when I talk. Like we were just starting to implement these 5 secrets that I'm sharing with you. And they said, I don't feel like you hear me when I talk about my day. And my initial reaction to them was defensiveness. And what I wanted to say was like, I do listen. But instead, I paused and I said, okay, well, tell me more about what you mean. So, in that one moment, it changed everything. It's like it opened my eyes to see how much I was focused on responding to my partner rather than understanding my partner. Because the roles have become reversed. You know, I was a speaker, he's the listener, right? Now he's trying to, you know, be the speaker, and we're trying to like interchange those roles. And he's like, I don't think you listen to me. And I'm like, okay. It's also my turn as the speaker to start transitioning as the listener. So I wanted to make sure that he knew that I thought he was important. And over time, like as we practiced this two-way approach, our connection began to kind of begin to restore itself. Like emotionally, became a little bit closer. We stopped feeling like we were battling when it came to having conversations or if we were in conflict, and we started feeling like we were part of a team, just kind of navigating our life together, which is, you know, oh, it felt so great. It was like a weight had been lifted. So I want you guys to try this fun exercise. Okay, so as the 10-minute rule, and maybe try it today. You know, put it in the comments if you're gonna try it, and then come back in the comments and then tell me how it went, because I love to know. I want to know. So take 10 minutes tonight and practice your two-way communication. So one partner shares, you know, a recent experience. It could be good, it could be bad, it doesn't matter, you know. And then the other partner listens and they reflect. Remember, you know, making sure we have clarity, repeating back what you understand your partner to be saying, and then asking those open-ended questions, those questions that require more than just a yes or no response. And then switch roles, and you're going to do it all over again. So 5 minutes for one partner, for each partner, so you guys have enough time to switch. And then notice how it feels to actually share with your partner. Like, notice how it feels to truly be heard. It's like communication isn't about like who speaks the most. It's about creating that safe space where both of your voices matter, where both of you feel like your needs are being met when it comes to communication. It's like that's where like emotional connection lives, in that communication. So my final question: what does it mean for you and your relationship to truly have two-way communication? Put it in the comments. All right, guys, I will see you next time, and I hope this was beneficial for you. I will see you soon. Bye.